know every time I see it. Yes, I have it. I don't have the volume on. Is that better? You want to hear the bing? Okay, let's talk about the answers to this. Okay, that's not the answers.
I wrote really big and I don't know why.
Here are the answers. Okay, someone want to read me their part A?
Like
Any volunteers? Let's put it this way. I got candy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, go ahead. Your hand was first, ma'am.
So this convenience sample was an error because the first 100 to walk in doesn't justify everyone who eats there, especially if they are saying the food is bad. Why would they be the first ones in there? A better way this could have been done was after the lunchroom was filled, randomly go around to equal numbers of people and ask their opinion.
Perfect. It would be even better if you specified what kind of sample that was that you did.
Simple random sample.
Yes, it would be better to like throw in those vocab terms, but otherwise that was spot on.
I have another one.
Yes, dear.
Okay, so I'm just going to listen. Because they used to convenience sample their response is not true to the entire dorm population. Since it was the first 100 students, they may be more eager to eat and may respond more positively. Instead, they could have selected samples from each table and done a cluster sample.
I like that as well. And then anyone else have a different? Yes, please.
Also, the study didn't take into account students who ate off campus.
Alright, there was a problem, and I also have an issue with that. I believe the manager was the one giving the study, so I wondered if there was some sort of response bias. Did anyone else say anything else different that they want to add? Okay, well, yeah.
Mine sounds stupid, but I said that you could take like all of the students that like go in the lunchroom, like a list of it,
Yeah.
and then break it into 10 groups and stuff.
And randomly select from that. I think that's good too. In fact, so let's look at the, yes, dear.
I'm sorry, I said like you could break it into samples and if you could because it's large, is that good too?
I don't know how you knew that, Samantha, but that's what my key suggests. Okay, so the key says to get an E, P, or I, so you know we gotta rate ourselves. To get the E, so here's their fake solution for part A. They said something similar. Manager, use a convenient sample. People who arrive early may have a different opinion than other students living in the dorms. Why don't we instead select a simple random sample of 100 dormitory residents? So that's basically what Samantha's trying to do, which is great. As long as you selected a sample differently, you're good. So to get the E, you have to, 1, correct how to sample. So everyone who did, if you did a cluster, simple random sample, or like some of you had a multi-stage, or breaking it up and then doing it. So as long as you did something other than a convenient sample. And then the other way you had to get the E, you had to say, essentially correct, you had to not only propose an alternative that involves random selection, but you also have to do what Sally and Olivia did, which is you have to address why the first 100 is a bad idea. So if you didn't in some way explain why the convenient sample was not a good idea, you don't get the E, you only get the P. Yes, dear.
Does it count if I said, okay, I'll just read the form.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you tell me if it's okay. The sample was chosen by selecting the first 100 students to enter, which is biased because not everyone had a fair chance of being selected.
No, that's fine. As long as you somehow identified why the first 100 was bad, you're good.
Also,
You're good.
I noticed on the part where it says at the end of the selection says, even though that could increase the cost of the meal plan.
I feel like that's what part 2's on, right?
That's what the second question's about.
Part B, and now what part B is all about is how could they have worded it. So your wording issue is what I feel like perfect, but that's all part B. So again, if you've got part A correct, if you identified why the 100's bad, better way to select the 100 other than the convenience. So if you didn't do that, I'm betting you get the P. I highly doubt there's anyone in here who would get the I. Okay, now as for part B, which is what Cody's wanting to talk about, do I have any volunteers to read their part? She didn't read hers.
In the beginning of the question, they suggest to the students that he or she should go with what the most students of the population have come to conclusion is the 3 B's improvement, which is biased for the people who who think that these improvements, sorry, I don't remember right, okay. The ending of the question vaguely suggests that the students would pay more because they wanted a different meal plan, causing it to be biased to the students to agree that there does not need to be any improvement to the meal plan. It could have given some opposition and some favorable views to the question. So, I mean, that doesn't make sense.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, you would get the P, and here's why. You've addressed, so they say there are technically 2 issues in the wording. If you address and say there are 2 issues, you have to say how to fix both issues. For me, I only had 1 major issue, and in my response, I addressed that 1 major issue, and I just took out the clause. Go ahead and get your piece handy, but you would get the P because you didn't suggest how to fix the issue in the wording. That's the only reason you want me to eat. Someone else who did fix it wants to handle all the things. Go for it, man.
So I took both of them and I just I said that they should just completely take out the whole first sentence
Okay.
and then disclude the part about the cost because that was negatively associated with it.
Yes. So that's the part I focused on was the cost and negatively associating. Is there anyone else who wants to read theirs?
Okay, so
Anyone more?
I put adding the cost increase may sway some to say no, because
No one wants an increase in cost.
yeah,
Absolutely.
if it's gonna increase cost, never mind. Okay, so then the word improvement may be misleading because you could simply make individual dishes better than they are, or completely choose other dishes to serve. So like improving as far as different food or different recipes.
Right.
And then some may love or like the food, others may not mind it, and others may hate it.
No,
So, like,
I agree. I think that's good.
but that doesn't really.
But basically, the word improvement is too vague as to what your plan is. So our plan is to improve by increasing 21% in vegetables, or like I said, this is how we will improve. I like that. No, that's good. That would get you any.
So this chapter is not about having exactly what they want. It's about if you say something around this can be good.
Yeah, literally. So as long as you said something about so if I pray there's a chapter 4 or something with a sample or experimental design question on the food response, because you can rock that out. Now I get that as yesterday, there are multiple choice ones that just because due to their wording, not due to the concept, are a little difficult. But this should be the next chapter if we had the vocabulary. Yes, Peter.
The part, I just said that the part that said even though that would increase the cost of meal plan, I said that created bias because people don't want to pay more, and so I said just to remove that part. Would that be enough?
That would get you the E, and that's exactly what I said. But if you did what Shalia did and you addressed both issues in the phrasing, like if you found a second issue, you have to address how to fix it. So if you say there's a problem, be prepared to say how to fix it. So I would just focus on the phrase that Sally focused on, that even though they're raising the cost and said completely strike that, it's good to go. I'm with her. That's what I did, but I easy way out, I guess. Okay, I gave you some things. I gave you lots of things. It's a lot. I gave you lots of things. Let's look at the one that looks like the ones we were doing yesterday. The one that says laying the foundation. I gave you some sample frappies you could look at later if you wanted. But to be honest, I think you write just as well as they do, if not better. So I'm not even sure the samples are worthwhile. Okay, so I want to look at this one together. It says, a veterinary school would like to test a food supplement that is meant to increase joint flexibility in dogs. The one I was telling you about the other day. Dogs lose flexibility as they age, with many older dogs, ages 8 and above, exhibiting joint problems. In addition, the joints of larger breeds of dogs are subject to more stress, so joint problems appear more frequently and more severely in larger dogs. 12 dogs have been volunteered for this study by their owners. They have been categorized by age and size, where small breeds are under 35 pounds, medium breeds are 35 to 70 pounds, and large breeds are over 71 pounds. Owners will administer the food supplement to the 6 dogs chosen for the treatment group, while the other 6 dogs will be given a placebo by their owners. Before the study, the owners will complete a questionnaire about their dog's comfort and activity level. They will answer the same questions after 3 months of treatment, and the results will be compared. Okay, together we're going to work through this one because it's not as beautiful as the last one. It's just not. They said they want to use a max period block design will be used for this study. Using the dog numbers, tell which dogs will be in each of the 6 blocks, and describe the criteria used to form the blocks. So they're telling you specifically, break up these dogs into 6 blocks. So what are we going to use for the 6 blocks? Okay, so Cody says we should use their sizes. Is there anything else we should consider when we break them up into blocks? Okay, so if we could somehow consider their sizes and their age. So I'm going to make a list. Block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, block 5, block 6. Now, we didn't design it, so we're not going to talk about how silly it is to have 6 blocks and only 12 dogs, because, again, we're just following directions. Sometimes you just do what you're told. Okay, if I put, let's say I put dog 1 in block 1, what other dogs should I put with dog 1? Dog 11, she says.
Dog, maybe number 9.
Why would we want to do dog 9 over dog 11?
I mean, dog
Same size.
They got that they're both large and they're both older. So we're going to do dog 1 and dog 9. And if you want to list reasons to yourself as to why, he was a large 9-year-old, large 11-year-old, so they were similar. Okay, so let's, I'm just going down the list. So we did dog 1, let's do dog 2. Dog 2 is 6, and he is small. Who would go best with dog 2?
Number 5.
So if we do dog 2 and dog 5 together, and we're doing dog 5 because he is also small and he's 4. And then dog 3, who does dog 3 need to go with?
Dog 10.
Okay, so 3 and 10 would make sense. Dog 3 is large, 3-year-old dog. Dog 10 is a large 2-year-old dog. And then, so we've done 1, 2, 3. Let's do 4. Dog 4 would go well with dog 7. Dog, I can spell dog today. Dog 4 and dog 7. Why? Because dog 4 is large 5. Dog 7 is large, also 5. Interesting. So they're actually like really well suited for each other. Block 5, I'm going to do dog 5 I already used, so I'm going to use dog 6. Dog 6 and dog 12. Okay, dog 6 is medium 6 and dog 12 is medium 5. And then for my last block, I'm going to do dog 8 and 11. And 8 is a medium, that's 10. 11 is a medium, that's 9. Again, we didn't get to pick the blocks. We didn't get to pick. We just got to pick which dog went in what block.
Do we have to put the large and the big?
No. I was just doing that to help people. If you don't need that and you understood how to do it, you're going to get your points for just having it done. So that's part A. And then describe B is describe how the dogs will be assigned to the treatment or the control group. So how do we decide? Okay, but we got to decide within the block. So how do we decide dog 1 is treatment or dog 1 is the control?
Randomly assigned blocks.
Okay, so we're randomly going to select what would be the easiest way with 2 options?
Draw a hat. Draw out of a hat. Wow.
You could use a hat, but then since there's 2 options, I'm thinking the easiest way ever in life is flip a coin. Randomly select which dog from, flip the hat. Which dog from each block. Randomly select. because you could say head means you get the treatment. So if I flip the heads, if for dog 1 you flip heads, you say, oh well, dog 1 he got head, so he's getting the treatment. But I mean, the hat's still going to work too. I put 2 hats, put your numbers in a hat. The one I draw it gets the treatment. The other one is control. Like, it doesn't matter.
I thought it was like, you flip a coin and see which block you.
No, we mean like you flip a coin to decide dog 1 is treatment or dog 1 is control, and then dog 9 gets whatever's left over, since there's 2 of them each. Randomly select which dog from each block will receive treatment, and then you like the hat, so we'll do the hat by putting numbers into a hat. Number 1 is top listed dog. Number 2, bottom listed dog. I don't know how specific you would want to be. I really think I'm being ridiculous. Randomly select which dog from each block will receive treatment by putting numbers into a hat and drawing. And I'm out of room. I was offering a coin for a different change in pace in life, but if you're set on the hat will always work. I mean, it's, again, I could say, I'm going to flip the coin. Heads is always, you get treatment. I flip it. If I get heads, dog 1 is treatment. If I get tails, dog 1 is control. Dog 9 is automatically treatment. Like, it's as long as it's not Shalia decides dog 1 is for sure treatment, Shalia decides for sure dog 9 is control. As long as you're not the one consciously making the call, it's good to go.
But if you don't know the dogs, like if you have no association with them and you don't know how they act or anything, why would that matter?
In real life, you're just going to select probably, because like you're saying, I don't actually know them. I don't have feelings towards dog 1 or dog 9. They're just random. But when they ask how you actually did it, you're going to say random number generator, flip the coin, use a calculator, something. Something where they know you didn't put thought into it. Because if you want to tell dog 9's owner that you decided he was control and not treatment, bless your heart, because I'm not telling him. Okay. Part C, I think it's cool. The coolest part. But, you know. Describe why a placebo is necessary. It sounds like one. Why is a placebo necessary?
To see if the treatment actually has effects on the dogs.
Why would we be worried about whether or not the treatment has an actual effect on the dog?
Well, the
Hasn't been
placebo
tested.
has
That's what the experiment is for.
Okay, but
Because we won't know.
why do we have to have a placebo?
So we have a control, so like we see the difference between like
But the
just
placebo is
leaving
to
them
see,
versus-
the placebo is to see whether it's just the thought of the medicine that's working, or
I mean, the
it
dogs
actually
don't
is
know.
a
But the dogs don't know. I mean, if I'm dog 1, I'm not going to know whether or not I'm getting the drug.
So like
Why do you
maybe
have to have the
the
placebo?
owners will have the dog after so long.
So the reason you must have a placebo is that we don't want to have a lurking variable of the owner's opinion. Because if we don't have a placebo,
Because the owner's saying whether or not they can cut whether.
yes, if we don't have a placebo, it's a fake drug. If we don't have a placebo, we introduced the owner's, I'm going to say attitude, but their opinion, or however you want to phrase that. These owners' attitude as a lurking variable. Because I'm out of room, so I'm going to abbreviate. They will know. They would then know if their dog did or did not receive treatment.
So they would know because you told them?
They will know because they don't have a drug to give. So basically, yeah, there was a lot better way to phrase that, but if you got to say something about you have to have a placebo. That way every owner is giving their dog a pill a day. Otherwise, Olivia is going to know, since she's doesn't have a pill to give her dog is not getting the treatment. So when her dog doesn't do better, is it actually because it didn't receive the drug, or is it because Olivia knew it and she somehow influenced the dog's feelings? Real deep. Okay, are there any questions about this one?
The placebo is no pill?
The placebo is a fake pill. It's like a sugar pill. It's like if your mom told you were having an Advil and she gave you a Smartie. It's not actually going to cure your headache, but in your mind it does. Yes.
What?
He's joking because Skittles and Advil look similar. It was cute. It was really good. I thought it was.
I said I don't think they have.
Oh, they don't. Okay, let's look at a different one. So we might come back to number 2 in a second. Actually, let's do 2, because 3 I know you could ace. Actually, let's talk about 3 really fast. We're not even going to write stuff out. So 3 is another convenient sample. It's really similar to what we just did. So the convenient sample, she only surveys the first 20 adults entering the library. And then she writes this questionnaire that they're supposed to answer, and it says, many library users think that more children's activities should be provided at this library. Do you think that the number of children's activities should be increased, even though this would take away resources from other programs such as adult education or public interest? So it's literally like the one we just did. So they keep doing similar things. You've got to explain, since it's a convenient sample, what's wrong with it, which you already understand. First 20 is a bad idea. How you could have done it differently. So,
First 20 might not even have kids.
yeah, they might be really old. You don't, no offense, but they could be. But how could we do it differently if it's a library? There's an easy system for a random selection. What do we have on people at a library?
Library card.
Yeah, they've got a record because they've got a library card. So it'd be very easy to get the records, select the random sample using the records. Okay, and then the bias in the wording is where? So basically, if you just told them, if you're correcting it, take out the last sentence. I mean the last phrase. Once you started, even though it's got to go.
But what about the first part, too? Many like the
Children's activities should be provided at this library. Do you think the number of children's activities should be increased? I mean, I think that's sufficient.
Just saying information.
So it's another similar one. So let's do one that is actually a little different. That's the number 2. And I don't know why. Thankfully, it's not on diapers, but there's this new type of soy-based baby formula that's been developed to help babies who have trouble gaining weight in their first 6 months of life. The parents of 150 babies have volunteered their children to participate in this study. All of the babies are between 8 and 9 weeks of age, a time when they should be growing very rapidly, and have been identified by their doctors as gaining weight more slowly than normal. The babies will be weighed before the study begins. Half of them will be given the new formula, and the other half will be given the type of formula that is currently recommended for slowly growing babies. After 3 months, all the babies will be weighed again. Do y'all have this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I heard a lot of flipping, so I was concerned. Okay, A, describe an appropriate method for assigning the subjects to the true group so that each group will have an equal number of subjects.
You just SRS the 150 babies.
Okay, so we want to do a simple random sample with 150 babies, but they probably want you to explain it better, so I'm not going to actually write this out, but for the love, you need to say you assign every baby a number between 1 and 150. You can pull the numbers out of a hat. I guess we could, so assign numbers, I'm going to do it shorthand. Assign numbers 1 to 150. Pull 75 numbers out of a hat. Those will receive treatment. And I'm out of room, but the leftover 75 would receive the old formula. And then, but there's one thing I need to add. No, because if we do numbers in a hat, then there's no fear of repeats, because we're pulling them out each time. Or maybe you want to add without repetition or without replacement.
Are turning in this
Is that what you're doing?
No, you are not.
I feel like I've been lying to you.
You are not.
Yeah.
Okay, move on with your life. In this study, the researchers chose, you're incriminating yourself because I'm recording. Get your life together.
I'm skipping
In this study, the researchers chose.
Luis Daniel Garcia Barnett is skipping Friday.
Good. Let him finish this question so I can stop rambling. In this study, the researchers chose to include a group who used the currently recommended brand of formula. Why is it important to include a control group in this study, even though weights will be measured at the beginning and the end of the study?
So that the parents don't, just like in the ball one, so that the parents don't have their attitudes changed because of the different.
I don't know.
Start feeling maybe a lot more.
Wait, there doesn't need to be a control group. They waited before and after.
I got it. So they can know if it is gonna, it's a new formula is gonna change anything.
Oh, the rate of growth.
So the
Okay.
control group is needed.
Later rates.
Is for, so we need a control group because we need a comparison to know a formula actually affecting weight gain. If we don't have a control group and we're just weighing them, yeah, they should weigh more. They're older now. We might have introduced some lurking variables by not actually having a control group.
What's the weight? I mean, not the weight, the rates at which they gain weight.
Yes, that's what we're looking at, is how much weight did they gain.
Change in the rate of weight.
Yes, the change in the rate of weight, to know whether or not it really drastically increased between the two formulas. Because, no offense, but you would have taken your child back to the doctor if they weren't gaining weight by this point. You would have freaked out.
Pudding.
Thank you, but no thank you. Okay, C.
If Jackson were here.
Many babies continue to drink formula until they are 12 to 15 months of age. Why would the researchers choose to use only babies who are about 2 months old, about 8 or 9 weeks old in this study?
Because they grow more when they're younger. Yes, or maybe.
It says at the time they should be growing very rapidly in the stem. So
So you could say the part about this, so I like that. A time when they should be growing very rapidly. So I like that. You could say, this is why. I like that. I've wrote some other reasons to myself, though.
babies would be old.
What are they saying?
They'd be too old babies.
When they're 2 months old, they're not going to fight you as hard as. They're still gonna.
Well, back to what we were arguing in the last question. Different age babies grow at different rates.
So if you have a baby,
It had something to do with
it's
each other.
going to grow more than another baby that's
Yeah,
the
this
same
goes
age
a little
at that time.
Yes.
The young baby,
Oh, yeah.
the small baby.
You're wanting all the young babies or all the old babies because it's not fair to compare a 6-month-old and a 12-month-old. They were born at different times. Of course, they weigh different weights.
Yes.
So we're trying to eliminate age. So we're trying to get rid of some potential lurking variables. Always. And, of course, if you were trying to be a smarty pants and stat lurking, I can't spell. If you were trying to be a smarty pants in your response, you would probably want to identify potential lurking variables that would be introduced if we accepted a very wide range of baby ages. So one is about the different months. So one lurking variable is just age in and of itself. My 18-month-old niece weighs way different than she did at 12 months, way different than she did at 6 months. So age is potentially a lurking variable because of the different months. What else? It's a baby. You've seen a baby before. Why would we want them before they were, let's say, a year old?
Because they don't grow as fast.
That's true, but what happens in their life? So they might start being more active. They might actually start walking or crawling. So we're worried about baby activity because if you're moving, you're potentially burning calories. So that might be losing weight. So we're needing those still babies that don't really move. No offense to them. If they crawl and they walk, then that's a lurking variable because they have exercise. Okay, and then there's one more obvious potential thing, and you already mentioned it.
The brain is so plastic.
That must be it. The teeth.
Oh.
So once they get in their teeth, what happens?
They can eat different things.
So we've got to think about different food sources.
Also develop formula, isn't it?
Yeah, we're specifically wanting to see how formula affects things. If they're eating other stuff besides solely to just drinking formula, then we have some other lurking variables. So it would be good if you said, less than you think. It would be good if you said all this. And of course, it would always be good if you threw in the phrase reduces variability. Are there any questions about this? Tomorrow there are 2 free response questions along with the normal 8 multiple choice. If you didn't get a piece of candy, I'm going to offer you one now. If you wanted to read, no, thank you though.